Hi and welcome to another edition of OnSide SA. Well, we've got a gap in the Premier League and it's international matches, Budge?
Yep, All Nations League this weekend, Paul.
Is it, eh? All Nations?
Nations League, yeah. It's
League.
the 55 teams in Europe. They've, instead of having friendlies, which are 9 times out of 10, yeah, and you're part of UEFA, yeah. So they've now got 4 sections, so they've just seeded them 1 of 55, put the top 12 in 4 groups of 3, play each other home and away, instead of meaningless friendlies, Paul. Yeah. So it's a good system. The games look like they're on.
Yeah.
So Germany, France tonight, yeah.
Germany, France tonight, eh?
Yeah, 8:45.
No Ozil.
No Ozil.
Yeah. Let's see if we're trying to get hold of Stevie B. We'll be speaking to Steve in a moment, but let's go on to what we always start with, and that's last one standing. Now, just to run through the last one standings, we've cut down to 143 after 3 weeks. From 255 last week, the ones to go out: Everton 79, Crystal Palace 21, Brighton 7, Tottenham 4, and West Ham 1. Shoo. West Ham, like they say in the lift, going down.
Going down, looks like it, yeah.
West Ham, shocking start. Budge, most of the other ones are through, but now it gets tough. I'm just having to look at who you did all the lists and that.
Yeah.
Bradley Parker.
Oh, Brad's been an entry from the beginning. He had 3 picks, and they went through with 2. But I fancy Wolves last week, and he went for Wolves. So man of the week, he didn't go for your Chelseas and your obvious bankers. So full credit to Bradley, man of the week.
Okay, I see Michael Jackson 6.
Yeah, well, Mark, I don't know if he's got a few of his mates, but he started with 10. But Mark takes 1 team, 2 picks.
Okay.
So 6 out of 10.
Powers,
well.
5.
Yeah, one of my Man United boys, it's resurfaced.
Gavin Radford, Bodrum 3.
Sneaked in.
Phil Giorgio, hanging tough from Mauritius.
Yes, all 3 on Chelsea.
Mark Curry, now he's coming to town with the group.
Well, Mark, 23 entries. I like what he's done. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, he's having
He's
a
got
go.
11 of his merry men, and I think he's still in as well.
If Mark Curry stays, you're not going to go watch.
No.
Spurs.
You're kidding me. No. All right, Spurs, Man United. So.
He's Spurs mad. Well, let's hope one of them
him.
go through. I managed to stay, but a lot of my friends went in. But let's hear. Stevie B. Have we got Stevie B?
You have? Stevie B's in the house?
Stevie B's in the house. Hello, Stevie. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
All right. Now, how was your mood after throwing away a 2-goal lead at Brighton last week?
Yeah, very disappointing. I mean, I think beforehand, I guess somebody would have said, look, you get a 2-2 draw. We probably would have taken that. But as you know, when you're 2-0 up, and at that point we were sort of quite comfortable, but they were poor goals to give away. I mean, the penalty was just a moment of madness by Mitrovic.
Yeah. But you could have been 1-0 down. It was a good save from your keeper.
It was, yeah. And in fact, on the back of that, he's got himself called up to the England squad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, good luck to him, eh? Good luck. But Steve, you've got to be pleased. Your team are competitive. They're going out there. The manager's doing a good job.
I think that's, when you think that Brighton's only other home game was beating Man United, so I think with the sounds of it, we were comfortable in patches. But defensively, I think Jukanovic still has to find his best back four. And I think, we haven't had the same back four play together, really. So I think it could still be a few weeks of when everyone's fit to see who his best back four are.
Yeah, and Stevie, just changing tack for a moment. Well done in the last one standing. You went with the flush out of the door.
No, I've gone. Yeah, absolutely. Everton let me down.
Yeah,
I believe a Bird's gone. Ramsey's gone in Wales. Charlie Pigram from Spurs has gone. The international boys are falling down here, Steve.
Yeah, it's very well. Look, I was saving the big guns for later, but but maybe that's the tactic is to get your big guns up early. But
yeah, get ahead.
We'll see next time.
We've got some interesting stories to talk to you about today, and Budge has written up a list here, and I'll read out the first one with regard to Premiership news and that. The VAR. What's the latest you've heard?
My understanding is that they are going to look to introduce it, but it won't be just yet. They introduced it last week at a few of the League Cup games. In fact, they had VAR on standby for the Fulham Exeter game, but it wasn't called upon. I think a lot of people think it is a good thing, and I think it will take away those really shocking decisions. but I think they just need to. We need to see it in practice, and I guess everyone will get sort of more used to it.
Yeah. And speed
hopefully,
it up a bit. Speed it up a tad.
Yeah, and I think the officials will. That's what they need to do. They need to speed it up, and then you get the right decision at the right time.
Yeah, what I would like to see on that VAR, Steve, I don't want the referee running off the pitch. You've got to have senior officials who are in the studio or wherever they're looking.
Yeah,
they must make the decision, and that's it final. The players will have to agree with it because they can't argue, and at least the game speeds up or doesn't slow down.
That has to be the best way. And the same in cricket. Obviously, the third umpire or fourth umpire is there and tells them what to do. The on-field umpire doesn't run off the pitch to start looking at a screen. So I think I agree with you. I think they have to rely on somebody who's in the studio with the TV monitors. They can see clearly. The referee doesn't have to go off the pitch and see it himself. Otherwise, as you say, that does waste a lot of time.
Steve, I read yesterday that they're looking at trialling it or in the next Premiership games on the 15th of September.
VAR.
All the 3 o'clock games, VAR. Is that right? Or have I misread it?
I haven't seen that. Now, if that is the case, that's interesting. I wasn't aware that they were going to be doing it quite as soon as that.
Yeah.
And what games they sort of decide to do it. I think it is a good thing. I think it will come in, and at some point, it's going to be in. It will be in every Premiership game.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of, I guess, people will get used to it.
Yeah, they'll get used to it.
Any technology. Obviously the goal line technology is instantaneous.
Yes.
Goals are given or not given. The referee gets on his watch. He finds out straight away. That's perfect. But I think VAR will hold up games a little bit, but hopefully not too much.
Yeah.
Sorry, but just going to latest. What have you heard about this new Tottenham Stadium? I believe we're going to play all our games at Wembley now.
It looks as if they've asked for an extension till the end of the year, and whether or not they then feel that if they've gone half of the season at Wembley, they then apply to spend the whole season, and then because it's been quite disruptive for season ticket holders and fans that have like half the season at one stadium and half at another. So it obviously isn't going to plan, but I'm sure Wembley may well be prepared to do it for the right fee. They can accommodate it. They'll probably carry on.
Yeah. When do you think they'll make that decision, Steve? Because say it's Man United, Spurs.
I think it has to be quite soon.
Yeah.
Obviously they've just arranged to play the Man City game a day. They've moved that by a day.
Oh, that's that's scuppered me. That's the game I was going to. Can you believe it? And I fly out.
But I think they have to decide. They have to make them. They're going to have to. I think they have applied to December, and if that goes through, then I guess it gives them a bit of breathing space to decide what to do in January.
Yeah. All right, and then all quiet in Jose Mourinho front.
Yeah, one result and it's gone quiet.
Well, whether or not peace has broken out, he obviously sort of made a big point of going over to the fans again after the Burnley game, gave his jacket to one fan, got a rapturous applause. I think that was the perfect game for United, to play a pretty sort of weakened and sort of tired Burnley team. I think if they'd have played someone a bit stronger and lost, then I think would have been difficult. But I think we've got the international break. If nothing happens over the international break, then I think it'll be business as usual for some time.
Yeah, Steve, onto the international front, this Nations League. You think it's better than playing friendlies?
No. Well, I think in some respects, I think people are thinking it's more like a glorified friendly. There isn't a huge amount of excitement. I think it's confused a lot of people as to how it's all going to work. The only thing is, I guess, like for the bigger teams like England are playing Spain, then they get to play Croatia in June. They play Spain home and away and Croatia home and away.
Yeah.
They're big games, and I guess ultimately that'd be more interesting than if we're playing sort of one of the the Kazakhstans or people of this world. I think the problem is they've come so early in the season. I mean, we've only had 4 Premiership League games.
Yeah.
And sort of club managers are really not happy about losing their players again for another week. It's very disruptive for the season.
Yeah, especially all the Champions League, Europa League matches in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
that's also...
I mean, it is. As I say, we're only 4 games in, and people are just getting back to watching Premiership football after the World Cup, and all of a sudden the players are gone again. And there's always the risk that the players get injured when they're sort of travelling and playing in these international games.
Yeah, I bet you'll be on your hands and knees praying sorry he doesn't get injured for the Ivory Coast.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely, or Mitrovic for Serbia or something, because I think clubs like ourselves can't afford to lose our best 2 or 3 players. Sort of Man City can lose 2 or 3 and, they can sort of carry on.
Yeah.
And Steve, imagine my team, Pochettino, from the goalie, the 2 backs, the centre halves, the midfielders, the strikers. We've just had one come back from Asia.
Yeah.
So we lose the whole squad nearly.
At least he didn't have to go off and do national service.
Yeah, so, military training.
They got him back.
Yeah, got him back. And it's as you say, it's a disruption, really a disruption of note.
Yeah, very much.
Just while we're talking about the Nations League, Stevie B, England, Spain. Quick call on the game. Your opinion?
Yeah, no, I think. I don't think he'll tinker with the team too much. I think he's going to want to play majority of the players that played in the World Cup for him, and I think obviously we've got a lot of younger players. Spain are without Costa, I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know whether or not. It's certainly an opportunity for him to try out 1 or 2 others. So wouldn't be surprised if we see a few substitutions. But I think it'll be a competitive game.
Give me a result, Steve.
I've actually gone for 2-1 England.
2-1 England. Budgie's gone the other way.
Yep, I'm going 2-1 Spain.
2-1 Spain.
Let's hope it's a good game, But I think Costa's.
Yeah, I think that's the important
thing. He's definitely
thing.
out.
As I say, it's on a Saturday evening. It's on TV. Spain is good. I mean, I was at Wembley for the last time England played Spain. It was a 2-2 draw, and it was a cracking game. Good atmosphere, and you want to see your own country play against the best in Europe, let's say.
Steve, one question. What is the situation with the substitutes? I didn't look at it. Is it like it's a normal international, only 3 subs allowed?
I haven't seen that. I would think it should be.
Yeah.
I think it's deemed to be a competitive game, so I would be surprised if it's not sort of normal substitutes. I don't think it'd be like a friendly where you're sort of bringing 6 or 7 on in the second half. I think that would devalue the match otherwise.
Okay, makes sense.
All right, so that's where we're at. I'm looking forward to seeing the world champions play Germany. It's tonight, isn't it?
Tonight, yeah. Quarter to 9. Thursday
night.
It's
going to be a very good game. I'd say the only other sort of Premier League, a lot of paper talk this week here about Pellegrini, and his sort of poor start at West Ham. So I think that's certainly, with West Ham have a very hard run in the next few games. So it's going to be very interesting to see how supportive the joint chairman are if they lose, say, 3 of the next 4 games and are rooted at the bottom. There's a lot of unrest already from talking to 1 or 2 West Ham fans.
But what do they expect, Steve? With all due respect, just to spend
I think this is the point. I mean, obviously he introduced a lot of new players, and we know, from experience, it does take time to bed in. But I think the way things are, people expect instant success. And if you lose your first 4, or if you lost 6 or 7 in a row, all of a sudden the pressure's on. So I think
Steve, I believe you got more points in your driver's license than West Ham.
Yeah, very true. But I think they had aspirations of a sort of comfortable top 10 finish, and it's not quite looking like that at the moment.
They keep playing that clip, Steve, of the owner or whatever is putting the message out. The top 4 are going to have to look over their shoulders.
Yeah.
Well, I think all that does is just sort of make them look fairly silly, doesn't it? So, it's the sort of thing that you say 7 or 8 games in if you're sitting in comfortable sort of top 6 place, but not when you're rooted at the bottom with no points.
Yeah, I just can't have them. Even the players that did sign, they weren't the best. So, yeah.
Well, I think that already there was an article in the paper this morning, saying that they think that Yarmolenko's out of his depth. Another pundit has said Felipe Anderson is probably one of the worst Brazilians he's ever seen playing in Britain. So, all of a sudden, these players that were highly touted and spent a lot of money on, all of a sudden become bad players overnight.
Yeah, that Italian league is flawed, Steve. We used to watch it, but they just cruise around, a little bit of magic, and everyone raves about them. Not many of them have come from Italy and performed in the Premiership, and he's one of them.
Well, it's as we know, it's a harder league. It's you can't swan around. There isn't the time.
Yeah.
So but it will be. I'm sure Pellegrini will work out his best 11 in due course when he's got all of his players fit. And I would be surprised if they don't haul themselves out of the bottom three. But I don't think that's going to be easy for the next few games because, as I say, I think they've got sort of Chelsea, Tottenham, and United over the next few weeks. So.
Steve, changing track, or course should I say, the championship game between Middlesbrough and Leeds. We never had it on. Did you watch it?
No, it was a really good game. I mean, very competitive. They cancelled each other out, but it was one of those sort of it was a very good 0-0. They both looked good. Leeds just seemed to have a lot more confidence than they did last year. And Middlesbrough sort of held their own. It really was a good game, and you can see why. But they're sitting at 1 and 2 in the league at the moment.
Yeah.
I think the big surprise is how Stoke is still sort of struggling, and also Aston Villa had a very poor performance. Very poor performance, and their fans are not happy at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Stevie, as always, thanks very much for all the info. It's always good to hear what's going on, and we'll watch our internationals and speak with you again next week.
Absolutely. Bye.
All right, Steve.
Thanks, Stevie. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Right, there we are from the London studio. Steve Bram giving us the info. Budge, let's move on to what happened last week locally. Local soccer's very big at the moment. It's flying, and we got the MTN 8, the semi-finals. What did you think?
I just saw the last 30 minutes, obviously, watching the Premiership games. Chiefs a little bit unlucky. They got beat 1-0, sucker punch. Good goal that I think it was Grobler scored. And the goalkeeper made 2 great saves. But that's how it's going for Chiefs,
Because Grobler's in the national side.
Yes.
He's a striker.
Bradley Grobler. It was his dad that played in our era, Les. Bradley Grobler is...
Is that Les' son?
Les' son. Good player, Paul. Nice target man.
Is he?
Good
He's
touch.
target man, eh?
Yeah, 2-footed.
Has he got the touch? That's the key.
I like him. He's
You
a
got
nice
the
player.
touch. And he's playing for Chiefs or playing for...
No, he's playing for Supersport. He scored the goal at
he got the
Beaches.
goal.
Yeah.
And then, Budge, the game's this weekend. It's here.
Mozambique, Bafana, yeah.
I know 5 of my guys who work for me are going. They got their car oiled up and ready to go. They're going to go out and watch Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, And Neil Tovey, I thank him for the tickets.
Okay.
My boys are happy with that. And then Sunday, Sundowns beat Cape Town City, but they went out.
They went out on pen. It was a good game, Paul.
Was
it?
it?
End to end, yeah. Good game. Yeah, good luck to Benny, he's put everything into the cup and they've done great. Where Sundowns were in the CAF, they're in a million competitions. Good luck to Cape Town. So I think it'll be a good final.
Looks like he put everything into his stomach as well. He's got big Benny. Remember what a great player
he's not
he was.
training much more.
Yeah.
I think he's drinking and eating more.
It should be raining around the grounds. 29th of September is that final, so don't forget. We got Supersport versus
And
Cape
more than
Town.
likely be in Durban, Paul, neutral venue. Well, let's hope it is.
There we go. That's MTN 8. Okay. Now, this league football, I hope you got the log set up for this League C, UEFA Nations League.
Yep. Well, Paul, they've split them, obviously. 1 to 55, they split them. The top 12 seeds, then 13 to 24, which is, you want competitive games,
So
Paul.
you could be a good side. It didn't make the World Cup. It's just outside the seasons. You're going to League B.
Well, it's your seeding.
How do you get up again?
Well, also remember the European Championships. So what happens in this competition is the teams that come third in their group get demoted, and the teams that win the B section get promoted, and that's how they're going to do it.
All right, let's go and have a look at what you put up here for us, Budge.
Yeah, well,
start with...
well, this is the main. This is obviously the top tier League A. Big game tonight. How are France going to respond? The Germans, going to be fired up.
Quarter to nine tonight.
Quarter to nine tonight.
They're playing in Germany?
Yes, playing in, I think it's Munich,
and
yeah.
The French World Cup winners.
Well, they're all the full squad, Paul. You just never know. Too many cocky guys in that French team. Young playmaker.
Would they be looking at the winger from Man City?
Who?
Germany.
Germany. No, Sané's in the squad.
Is he in the squad? They brought him back in.
Well, they've had to, Paul. They've revamped the whole lot. I think Germany can upset them.
Same coach?
Same coach, Joachim Low. He's dropped, obviously, a lot of the players that didn't perform. So Ozil's gone. So expect a fiery performance from the Germans.
Germany got a lot to prove. Another one's are the champions.
And they'll be in the French's throats, Paul.
Be a good game.
Should be a good game, yeah.
Okay, Italy, Poland.
Surprising Poland got there. They were terrible in the World Cup, Poland. They didn't qualify. Italy, they didn't qualify. They got beaten in the playoffs by Sweden.
How did they get there?
Well, they obviously seeding from previous competitions. But I think Italy... Roberto Mancini's in charge, so I expect them to beat Poland.
Switzerland, Iceland.
I think there'll be
Is
goals
that
in this,
Liverpool boy
Paul.
going?
Shaqiri, well, he's the main man at Switzerland. You know, the man from ex-Tottenham player Iceland, Gylfi Sigurdsson, he'll be playing. They were disappointing in the World Cup, Iceland.
Yeah.
They drew with Argentina, but then fluffed their lines against Nigeria.
That's right.
But
Eliminated group stage, eh?
Yep. You know, it should be a good game, Paul. I think a draw's a big player in here. 1-1 draw for me in that game.
Now, Spain eliminated in the last 16.
Yeah, they got beat on penalties against Russia. I think they had like 90% of the ball. They just got clever and drew 1-1, got beat on penalties. I think Luis Enrique, the guy that was at Barcelona, the short midfield player, he's taken over now. So I think he'll change the pattern of play. He's dropped a few players and upset a few of the Barcelona guys. But I think they'll have too much for England. Yeah.
Okay. You think you do, eh? I think, and it's at Wembley.
It's at Wembley, yeah.
When is that game?
That's Saturday.
Okay, and then there's...
Well, this is League B. Now, obviously, you go from seeds 13 to 24. Yeah, the Czech Republic, they didn't qualify, neither did the Ukraine. Yeah, Czech's always hard to beat at home, Paul, but you never know with the Ukraine. They got players. The main guy that played for Chelsea, he's the Shevchenko, he's the coach of the Ukraine. So they'll be attacking. I think goals in that game, but obviously the home team is...
I'd like to see Wales, Republic of Ireland.
Well,
Who
Wales
does
at
Lafferty play for?
He's
Carl
Northern
Lafferty.
Ireland. Yeah.
Northern Ireland, okay.
Now, Bale's available. The only game they've lost at home in the last two campaigns was to Ireland in the last qualifiers, but Gareth Bale was missing.
He's not this time.
He's not me. He's playing Ryan Giggs.
It's a Thursday night match.
This is tonight, tonight. Wales 9 to 10. They also play on Sunday against Denmark.
Who's the coach of Wales?
Ryan Giggs. He's taken
How
over.
many games has he had?
He's only had, this is his second. They won the first game that he was in charge of. And,
okay, Republic of Ireland.
That's Martin O'Neill, Roy Keane.
There's two O'Neills.
Two O'Neills.
Two O'Neills, yeah, okay.
But Wales for me in that game, Paul.
Turkey, Russia?
Turkey, Russia. Russia played great in the World Cup. I know it was at home. They had a full
They
go.
were very good,
Yeah, they got beat on penalties by Croatia in the quarterfinal.
Turkey are half their price here.
Yeah, Turkey at home are hard to beat, Paul. We've gone goals in this game, but, Turkey at home, you've got to fancy them. They weren't in the World Cup. They've got a few nice players. That Tosin from Everton, he's there.
Should be a goalie with a name like that.
Tosin in, yeah. But
Yeah.
I like Turkey, the two teams there, Paul. And Northern Ireland, Bosnia have got players. That Zeko's up front for them, who now plays in Roma, Pjanic at Juventus. But Northern Ireland don't get beat at home.
Yeah.
So win and draw for
I'd
me,
like
Northern
to see
Ireland.
Northern Ireland. How many games do you think they show tonight? One or two, maybe?
Hopefully a couple, Paul.
Yeah, okay.
But, definitely the main games on League
Okay, what's
A.
the next one? Slovenia?
Well, this is the third. Yeah, there's also League D, believe it or not. That's even the lesser teams. But going down, I think Slovenia will beat Bulgaria. Bulgaria at home was superb in the World Cup. They beat Sweden, but they were terrible away from home. That's why they never got in the playoffs. Slovenia, good team at home, Paul, 11 to 10. Cyprus, likewise. Norway should be too good for Cyprus. Albania at home. This should be a good game. Israel got a few good players. I think the draw's a big player there. Serbia, they were in the World Cup, but they got beat by Russia. They drew, and also Switzerland beat them. So don't know how come they've ended up in League C, but they should be too good for Lithuania. Likewise, Romania at home.
Serbia, Group C. That's strange, but.
Yeah. They've only qualified in one World Cup from the previous 3 or 4 campaigns. Also in League C, Finland, Hungary. It's a close game, a draw, a big player there, but if I had to side, obviously the home team. And I like Greece, Paul. They were in Belgium's qualifying group. They're a good team. The only team that beat them away was Belgium.
Scotland
I think even
and C as well.
Scotland are in C, yeah. They play Albania. I like Scotland, Paul. They at home, always hard to beat. The only team that's beat them in the qualifiers at Hampden Park was Germany.
Oh.
So 8 to 10 Scotland's in our
Who's the boss there now?
It's McLeish. Alex McLeish has taken over.
Yeah. Okay, AFCON.
Yeah, Cameroon. They've been disappointed, but the Comores, if they can't beat the Comores, I'll be
6 to
disappointed.
10 is a good price.
Yep.
6 to 10 is a
It's
good
an early
price.
kickoff, so don't get left.
Comores.
Kenya, Ghana, I think this game will be on. Your man from the midfield player that plays for Tottenham. Wanyama. He's a captain of Kenya. Ghana have always been a good team, Paul.
Always. But both these teams can play a bit.
Yeah, I think there'll be goals in that. Hopefully the pitch helps out.
Are Libya that bad that they're 7-1?
Well, Libya, unfortunately, can't play a game at home because of the climate. They've got to play all their games in Morocco.
Of course,
so they got to the World Cup the same stages South Africa did. They played them and didn't win a game because no home ground advantage. You never know with Bafana, Paul.
Yeah.
Thrown the draw into exotics, but you would think we should be too
Percy
good
Tau's
for them.
back.
A good player, but
No,
Just hope we have a go.
He's lined up with
He's
Brighton.
with Brighton, but he's playing for a team, St Helier, in, where is it in, is it Belgium? It's one of the lesser teams. Yeah, he's playing there, Paul, but he's our best player and he's playing in the second division.
Yeah.
Belgium doesn't make sense, but he'll start, obviously, so we should win, Paul, but
Yeah.
I've got no trust in Bafana. Uganda at home should be too good for Tanzania. I like Zambia against Namibia, Paul, and Vin took the game, but Zambia have got players that have a go.
Yeah.
I like Zambia of the two teams, but the draw naturally a big player in that fixture at Namibia.
Okay.
Second page, I've gone for Mozambique to beat Guinea-Bissau. Mozambique at home,
Yeah.
nice team. Gambia, Algeria, 11-10. I couldn't believe the odds, and I went into the Algerian squad. They've got Maritz, they've got the full team there.
So you good bet, Algeria.
Algeria, I think 11-10 is a good bet. Obviously, the pitch isn't going to be the greatest in Gambia, but if you've got Maritz and all those top boys playing, the guy from Bentaleb, I think was at Spurs.
Yeah, Bentaleb.
Yeah, they've got some good players. Paul
Tardy,
Slimani up front. I had a look at their squad.
They got
plenty
some
of good players.
Egypt must have some good players.
Paul, they lost their first game to Morocco in the group. But, Salah's playing. That was the first thing I had a look at. He wants extra security because he's not happy getting woken up at all hours of the night. So Egypt should be too good at home for Niger.
He should just let those girls out of his room.
Yeah, Mo Salah. So Liverpool boys will be
Mo
panicking.
Salah, great player.
Yeah,
great
but hasn't
player.
had the best of starts according to my Liverpool boys.
No, he's scored a couple of goals
act,
already. Yeah, he's running down the wing.
Running down the wing.
The
Also, a
Egyptian
team that
king.
was running down in Morocco. I thought they were Africa's best team. Remember, they drew 2-2 with Spain. They were unlucky against Portugal.
Yes.
They should have beat Iran. 1-4 looks a gift. I think it's 9-10 to win by more than one goal. So that was an interest. We've taken that. Madagascar, Senegal. Now, Senegal was the best
got a
performing.
romper.
6-10 against Madagascar. That's also in our bets, Paul. They've got their full squad, Mane and co. They're all available.
Yes.
Swaziland, Tunisia. Tunisia drew. Remember, England scored. Harry Kane scored in injury time.
That's right.
So Tunisia did well in the World Cup.
Yeah.
They should be too good for Swaziland, 9-10. Now, the Ivory Coast, I mentioned Sarri because he's Fulham's key midfield player. But they've lost. Zaha's not there. They've got quite a few players that's out. So it's a new generation. Rwanda, I watched them play it was about 7-8 months ago. The pitch is terrible.
Yeah.
It's a sand pit. So the Ivory Coast boys won't fancy that. You'd expect him to get a result, but the draw's obviously a player there. Congo, Zimbabwe. I like Zimbabwe, Paul. They've got some good players.
Have they?
Won't be easy to win in Congo because they played the DR Congo in their first group game and got a good hiding. I think there'll be goals in that game. Draw a big player for me. Angola should be too good for Botswana.
Yeah.
And the DR Congo, I think they'll be too good for
6 to
Liberia.
10,
6-10, yeah.
Okay, Budge, let's look at like these soccer
on to
sixes.
our
Okay.
soccer exotics.
You didn't bank South Africa, see?
No, I've looked for the upset, Paul. I think
Okay.
there's a couple of other good things in there. I've gone the field with Kenya and Ghana. I've gone South Africa, win and draw with Libya. I think Uganda will be too good for Tanzania. Namibia, Zambia, I've gone the field. And Egypt should beat Niger. And Morocco should be too good Malawi. Obviously, you want to half your perm and bank at South Africa. But we've thrown the draw and looking for an upset.
Okay, the next one.
Second one's the international one. I've gone Northern Ireland win and draw at home against Bosnia. I've gone Finland win and draw against Hungary. I've gone Switzerland win and draw at home against Iceland. I've taken the chance. I've banked at Spain to beat England. I've gone Greece win and draw at Estonia. And Luxembourg win and draw against Moldova. The only other way I was going to play it, Paul, was bank at Greece and go win and draw Spain.
Yeah, I was thinking
but
it might have gone
that
way.
may be the other way to go. But I've gone
I think
that
Greece
way.
will beat Estonia.
Yeah. On to the 10, I've gone the field with Kenya, Ghana. Win and draw South Africa against Libya. I've banked Uganda to beat Tanzania. I've gone Equatorial Guinea, win and draw against Sudan. I've banked Mozambique to beat Guinea-Bissau. I've gone Namibia, the field with Zambia. I've gone Algeria, win and draw at Gambia. I've gone Burkina Faso, win and draw at Mauritania. And bank Egypt to beat Niger and Morocco to beat Malawi. If you want to halve your perm, bank Algeria against Gambia.
Yeah.
But, we can throw the draw in there.
And now the big one.
The soccer 13, it's a mixed bag as usual. I've gone Switzerland win and draw at home against Iceland. I've banked at Spain to beat England. I've gone the field in Finland, Hungary. I've banked Greece to beat Estonia. I've gone Luxembourg win and draw at home against Moldova. I've gone Belarus to beat San Marino. I think they've lost their last 40 away qualifiers. Don't know how they're still in, but anyway. Then onto the Swedish league. I've gone Eskilstuna, win and draw at Degerfors. I've gone Karlslunds, win and draw at Narkopings. I've gone Oskarshams, win and draw at Sigtons. I've gone Accrington Stanley, the smallest professional club in England. Win and draw at home against Burton. Yeah, I think there's only 1,500 people can get into the ground. Blackpool to beat Bradford at home. Charlton Athletic to beat Wickham.
They're down low in leagues. They used to be up in the Premier League.
Yeah, it was Sean Bartlett's crowd. And Doncaster Rovers win and draw at home against Luton.
Alrighty, Buds, let's go and see how we can make some money.
It's a bit of a jumble, so I'm not a lover of the international weekend, but one thing, Paul, the odds are always, they stretch them, So I've gone the Nations League treble. I've gone Spain to beat England and over 2.5 total goals. I think it'll be 2-1 Spain. I've gone win and draw Northern Ireland against Bosnia-Herzegovina, and I've gone Scotland to beat Albania. The reason I put to beat Albania is Scotland played Belgium in a friendly over the weekend. So some people have put Scotland to win, meanwhile they're playing Belgium. This is a nation, so you must say Scotland to beat Albania, because there are friendly games in between. So that's 2,000.
So you're trying to tell me Scotland will play twice?
Well, they're playing a friendly against Belgium at home. I think it's on Friday. And so
when's this game?
This game is on Monday.
Okay. UEFA Nations
the
League?
Nations, both teams to score. I've gone Switzerland, Iceland, Turkey, Russia, England, Spain, and Finland, Hungary. 3,500 at 200. Onto the AFCON fiver, I've gone Algeria to beat Gambia. I've gone Cameroon to beat the Comores. I've gone Egypt to beat Niger. I've gone Mozambique to beat Guinea-Bissau. And I've gone Senegal to win in Madagascar, 3,200 at 200.
Okay.
They're both teams to score. Quartet, I've gone Namibia, Zambia, Congo, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Ghana, and Liberia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, 3,000 at 200.
Okay.
Yeah, I've looked for other avenues, Paul, so I've just taken, I wouldn't say the easy way out, but it's a handicap treble. I've gone Egypt to beat Niger, Morocco to beat Malawi, and Scotland to beat Albania, all by more than one goal.
Okay.
So that's 2,700 at 200. It's 13.5.
And these all have to win now?
These are the 6 on next. I've gone Spain to beat England. I've gone Scotland to beat Albania. I've gone Egypt to beat Niger. I've gone Morocco to beat Malawi. And the 2 League One games, Portsmouth to beat Shrewsbury and Sunderland to beat Fleetwood Town.
That's a big odds.
5,000. Yeah, Paul, Spain was 16.5 to 10. The other two, 8 to 10, 8 to 10, Sunderland, Portsmouth. So bumps the price up nicely,
All right, Budge, let's hope there's some money coming in. And I think there's some good bets in the football. When you look at some of the 6, 7 to 10 shots, they look certainties.
Well, they do look certainties, Paul. It's just the grounds. If there were neutral venues on good pitches, you'd say go for it. But some of these African countries, they're not going to give in, Paul. This is a chance for their players to make a name for themselves.
What time England playing? You got an idea?
It's quarter to.
Are they say
no, it's quarter to 9.
They're all evening matches, eh? Okay, Budge. Lovely. Don't forget, get your bets on last one standing. We're cutting odds down. Let me just have a look. I've got it here. How many are left?
143. Or 142 and you.
Yeah, 142 and me. Remember me, I'm still in the hunt. 142 and me go in and get your bets on early. It's getting tougher all the time. So this goes off for 2 weeks.
Yep, next weekend we come back.
Next weekend we come back. Don't forget that. So it's nothing this weekend. It's the weekend afterwards. Try and watch your international football, and your South African football looks very good too. Until next week, stay on side.